Welcome back, Kyle Russ here. In this video, I'm gonna explain what happened when I ice bath for 30 days straight. I'm gonna go over the benefits, some I expected, some were super surprising, and I'll show you my setup and also give you a bit of my background with cold exposure, how that affected this 30 days and what I plan to do in the future. Now, starting off, just to explain, ice baths, it's like, everyone, when it comes to benefits for surfing, everyone knows that surfing's super physical. You're using so many different muscles you don't normally use, right? So the benefits for that were huge for recovery. But also, surfing is a very mental thing. You have to think a lot. You have to make good decisions while you're tired. The ice bath helps that too. But the big one I didn't expect was the emotional benefits. Surfing is a very emotional thing. It brings those survival emotions right to the surface. Being forced to hold your breath over and over when you're tired puts you face to face with your mortality, right? So like fear, panic, those things start to bubble up. So learning to control those are such an important part of surfing at a high level. And the ice, the ice brings up those survival emotions like immediately. So it's like, because it's telling your nervous system we're in danger. So you get real things coming up. So learn to control that has a massive benefit. So I'll explain exactly how that worked for me. I'll show you my setup. Costs a little over $100. It's not gonna last forever, but it's a great way to start if you're in a cold climate or if you have access to ice. And then I'm just gonna kind of explain my plans for the future and give you some tips on how you can do it as well too, and my recommendations. So let's get started. All right, so this here's my setup. It costs a little over $100 on Amazon. I think it was meant to be like a hot tub, but I saw in the reviews a lot of people had used it as an ice bath. So it's cold out here in Canada. It's December. So when I first put, you see it froze a bit. It hasn't frozen the last few days, but it had been, so it's kind of perfect. It's not gonna last forever, like I said, but it's perfect for now to get started quickly. I put it here in my backyard. If you look there, I was having to take ice out because I couldn't fit in there. I'd come out here every single day, break the ice with an axe, and then I'd throw the ice out, have to fill it back with more water. So yeah, super cheap, awesome way to get started quickly. So today is officially day 30, but I wasn't starting at 0. I took Wim Hof's course online about 7 years ago, so I'd been doing cold showers. I would finish cold on my showers almost every time, unless I showered at night before bed, because cold showers release adrenaline and you can't sleep. So any shower I had in the morning or afternoon, I'd finish cold. And I lived in the mountains, so whenever I drive through the mountains, like if you've ever been snowboarding up in Canada, Banff is a very popular area. So I'd drive through there and I'd always jump in frozen rivers all the time. Like I just love it. I did it for fun. It was just exhilarating. And I would occasionally in the winter fill a bathtub with snow. But I never ever did it every single day, and I never did it for long durations either. So the first week I bought this tub. It wasn't freezing yet, but it was very cold. Woo, the camera almost blew over. And I was able to do 5 minutes. Difficult, but like not that difficult. My mind would wander, I'd daydream, I'd sit there for 5 minutes and just be thinking about my day, so it wasn't super painful. And then after about 10 days of that, it froze. So the temperature changed overnight and went to freezing, where I had to chop through the ice with an axe. There's ice sticking in my back here. I had to chop through the ice with an axe every morning. That massive temperature change made it so much harder. The first day, my feet and my fingers were killing me while I was sitting here. Made it through the 5 minutes. What surprised me the most was the very next day, it was about half as hard. My hand didn't hurt and my feet barely hurt after 1 day. So one big benefit, first of all, was the physical. Now, I don't have any injuries per se, but I get the aches and pains because I work out a lot. So I'd get like aches and pains in my feet a bit. And then I have leftover pain in my hips from a job where I would sit all the time. And that helped out a lot. And honestly, when I do like hardcore leg workouts, my legs would be sore in bed at night, but most of that stuff is completely gone, which is great. The mental thing surprised me a bit too. I know a lot of people who do cold plunge, they talk about the discipline aspect of it. And I expected that too, but a couple days ago, I had the flu symptoms. I was getting sick. So like, I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to stress my body. But just the actual act of skipping a day and breaking that chain of doing it every day messed with my mind so much that I had to jump in and just do a quick one just to keep the streak going, because the discipline thing had become the hook for me. It's what kept me, I don't know, it just became so important, and I didn't expect that. So that was really, really cool. The next part was the mental emotional side. So cold is a stressor, right? So it triggers the nervous system, it brings on the fight or flight, and it makes you sit with it, right? So in doing that, being in cold and sitting there and just being totally calm carried over into my parenting life. So sometimes when my kids are getting crazy, especially at the end of the day when I'm tired, I've worked all day, I've worked out twice or surfed or whatever, I'm tired, and my patience just starts to slip. So, and it had been an issue. I'd been working on it, being more patient with my kids, but as soon as I started ice bathing, I was just like so calm all the time, and my energy levels were higher too. So like, I've never lost my patience with my kids since I started doing this, which is incredible. And obviously the carryover into that, into surfing too. I don't really get emotional surfing anymore because I train for that, but obviously if I find it way easier to stay calm in the ocean than it is to stay calm when my kids are being bad. So now that I've leveled that up, I know it'll cross over greatly into surfing and everything, business, life, relationships, all that stuff. So that's really cool. Was there something else I wanted to say? Oh yeah, so one big tip that I had learned years ago from doing the cold showers was, after you get cold, don't get warm. Don't have a warm shower. Don't go sit by the heater. Let your body warm itself up, because you're strengthening those processes. So it makes the benefit greater, and it speeds up the adaptation to cold. And so that's why for me, when it went to ice, and it was so painful, and the next day it was half as hard, that's because I let my body warm itself up. It took hours. I was working, doing tasks all throughout the day and just waiting for my body to warm up. And that's where you get the most benefit of it. It helps with weight loss. It helps with your immune response, muscle recovery, all that stuff. So let your body warm itself up, and that's huge. So that's the 5-minute mark for this. So I'm gonna get out, and I'll talk about this a little bit more. All right, so that's it. So going forward, after doing it every day for 30 days, I'm gonna do it every day that I can for the rest of my life. The benefits are too high for just a few minutes every single day. So massively improve the quality of my life. The physical, obviously, just feeling better overall, higher energy levels. The mental, the discipline side, I knew was gonna be there, but it was bigger than I thought it was. And for me, discipline, I'm like, my discipline's like bipolar. I'm either everything or nothing. I'm either like a total slob, or I'm just like an absolute animal. And so to have another tool I can use to make sure I'm always on that good side is so valuable to me. And then the emotional side is huge. That's quality of life. How it made me happier. Being in the ice made me happier, which is incredible. And I did not expect that to really improve my emotional state that much, that significantly, that quickly, with just one simple practice. It's just like with temperature. Fantastic, fantastic. It's like, it's not really the lowest hanging fruit, because it's not easy for everyone to have these. Like the tubs you can buy that stay cold are very cost prohibitive. They're thousands of dollars. I'm not gonna get one. This works for me now in the winter. When we get into the summer, I'm gonna do something more permanent. Like we're kind of lucky. We got it's like a fish canning processing plant here, and they have like a massive ice machine. They sell ice like super cheap for like $10. You can get like more than you could carry in your truck. So I'm probably gonna just get a bigger tub I can sit in that's like made out of metal, like a drinking trough, fill it with ice this summer, and we'll see how that goes. So if you can't afford a tub, if you don't live somewhere that's this cold, you can start with finishing with cold showers, even though it's not as good. Especially like if you live in like Florida in the summer, the water doesn't get cold enough really. So maybe buy some ice and fill it with a bathtub once a week. I don't know. You have to figure something out. I'm just trying to think of what solutions, but I can't think of any. So I don't know. For me, going forward, the benefits are just so massive. I'm blown away with how much it improved my life in one short month. I'm so excited for the future. So hope you like this video. If you know anything about ice, or you have anything to share, comment down below. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on getting cold and how it's improved your life. Talk to you soon.